YouTubers, September 29th, 2018. Just gonna give my opinions on an amazing nutrition book that inspired me and changed the way how I look at people for the rest of my life by Weston A Price, Nutrition and Physical Degeneration. The title's depressing for a title. Actually, it shouldn't have a title like that. It should be called Cure Tooth Decay or something like that, because Price was a head researcher, American Dental Association, back in 30s or 20s, or late 20s rather. He did a 10-year study throughout the world. He was born in Ontario, moved to, I'm pretty sure it was Cincinnati, Ohio, had a dental practice there, and was shocked at the people's teeth, dental arches. So what he noticed was, throughout the travels with his wife, he did all these studies with butter, food, how people think too. See, this is overlooked on a lot of the YouTube videos I've seen so far. Nothing's mentioned much about your mental intellectual functioning and how that transpires to be nutrition. It's not a definitely key to, being normal and not such a wacko. And what I'm referring to, like, people ass backwards. They think their mentality is just, they're not all there. And most of the time, the attribute is the nutrition being so poor. What I noticed in Price's book is that all these tribes, they all were like open, they had incredible character, never, always truthful, never trying to deceive you or take money, because they're eating so good. It's the same way here in the U.S., okay? Native Americans, I got part Native American in me, and this irks me, but I'm not going to whine about it. How it's been taken over. It's all changed. Native Americans don't own it. I got Russian, German, Polish, Irish, and Native American heritage. I have a big tree of heritages. But I was just, blown away how people, they change with what they have for food. And in Price's information, that their intellectual functioning was so superior, their vision, like with the Australian Aborigines, they could see movement a mile away, wildlife. They could see with the naked eye, I think the moons of Jupiter, according to what Price had to say in his research. But, they had to take, theirs was like one of the most grueling for like adulthood, for like a young child or boy, rather, to become a man. They'd like chip off a piece of his tooth, and they wouldn't want him to flinch. You see how tough you are. They make you tough. But yeah, I mean, it's just the information. I was blown away by it. It'll change the way you look at somebody for the rest of your life. This should be taught in schools throughout the world. All grade levels, kindergarten, high school, grade school, college. They should have courses, special diets, for having healthy children. They planned it, both male and female. Just how people think, their ingenuity. I mean, you can't judge someone because these people had such high intellect everywhere Price traveled, with how they lived off the land and all. You can't bring them to like a left hemisphere oriented school and expect them to grasp or enjoy it, especially if they're not going to benefit from it. Education's helpful, but if it's something you're never going to use, what's the sense of doing it or learning about something you're not interested, right? It's just the information is just so unbelievable. People that Price noticed that were fed modern foods of commerce, where the parents gave them refined white flour, refined white sugar, their teeth, everything's all messed up. I got the same shoes as a lot of people nowadays, but you can't let that eat you up. But I mean, if you want to have kids, you should have a special, sound, nutrient-dense diet. You know, both the husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, they plan this. Not like nowadays. I mean, what do you expect? You don't plan nothing, and you expect healthy kids. And after reading this book, okay, with like their knowledge, with like the special foods they needed for conception, all the cultures had special foods. Like people that were inland from the ocean, they had special like seaweeds that had loaded with iodine to help with the fertility of the both male and female, because the male's got to have, you know, eat good too in order to have healthy offspring. With Ron Schmid's book, it mentioned that briefly about the mitochondrial DNA, to reinforce it. You have to have a sound nutritional diet. Veganism isn't going to cut it. That's not going to help with your teeth. Where the hell? There's no proof. There's no evidence whatsoever. You know, think about this. David Attenborough, he's not, you know, a dentist or anything, but his observation skills are unparalleled. And this is where Weston A Price falls in. When he traveled these isolated people and checked them all out, how could you not notice? Like the facial features. He was a dentist, you know, and he's taking photos, and then the first generation they show in their kids, and if they're eating modernized refined white flour, refined white sugar, their noses get pinched, their jaw structure's tight, you know, your arches are like this, they get messed up, a whole bunch of everything. That doesn't mean you're not going to be healthy inside, but just your appearance, it shouldn't be that way. Everybody should have pearl white teeth. They shouldn't have to go through all these ordeals of ignorance and stupidity, is what it boils down to. So, I mean, all these cultures, they had special diets and everything. Matter of fact, for the children and all, the people in Alaska, the Eskimos, some of the tribes, Inuits, other tribes, there's all kinds of tribes in Alaska, northern Canada, worldwide. And well, especially where Price was studying, they had some moms had like 20 some kids. And see, what's important to mention is they don't have like the commonality with the C-sections we have nowadays. They're not dying. They'd have kids out in the woods. But also I heard because the bone structure's smaller too. And that could be a factor. But a major factor that I was telling my sister about to help when she had all her children, she never had a problem. I said, you got to eat special fat-soluble activator foods for your all your children. You ought to. You're making them. Don't overlook it. And she didn't. In every case, she never had to have any C-sections. My mother lost her sister from she had a C-section. I mean, it's terrible. Can you imagine? Because you're not eating right. You don't know. You're not educated. And you can't just blame your parents, because your parents weren't brought up that way either. They weren't taught. You know, if you're in a city, you're like at the worst, well, I'm not meaning to sound negative, but chances are, you know, your knowledge of like foraging wild foods, a hunter-gatherer way, is really, really slim. And so like your offspring, you know, you got to do a lot of background research and everything. And so that's why it's amazing. A lot of the cultures that Price studied that ate sound, nutritious foods, they're either engineers, doctors, or lawyers that could just the intellect. It makes a vast difference. You're non-judgmental. You're open is an open book. Reverting back to like not recently, not just right now, but say, well, within like say a few years, 3-4 years ago even, they have on a travel channel these shows where they'd visit the African tribes. This family, these strangers would meet and they'd live in their tribe, and they would be bawling their eyes out. They wouldn't want to leave because they're so honest, so humble, trying to help you and teach you about the ways of nature. It opened their hearts to them, that they were in tears. They didn't want to leave. None of them, you know, and this happened like several occasions. And what are they doing? Because they're eating their normal native nutritional diet wherever they live. Every culture had special nutrient-dense foods. They were the richest sources, animal source foods. You know, you got seafood, organ meats, dairy products, seaweeds, you know, with the seafood. They ferment the foods. And also with the these tribes, that cultures that were primitive, that Price studied back in the 30s and late 20s and 30s, they all had just amazing information that could help people and make them feel that there's more to life than just money. You know, like money doesn't buy everything. It doesn't solve everything. This world ought to be healthy. Everybody ought to be healthy with kids. No dentistry. There shouldn't be any dentists. Dentistry is crooked. Price in his book mentions in chapter 22 about how your teeth can heal on their own. Not everybody, because why it's this way is because the degeneration of refined white flour and sugar over the year after year, generation after generation, if they eat lousy, their offspring are going to get worse. Well, some of it could take back, I don't know how many generations to get back, 2, 3, more maybe, to bring it back. You know, where all your teeth, you don't have, you know, any crooked arches, or your wisdom teeth are out protruding like they're supposed to. You have to read the book. That's why if you didn't read the book, I would never debate. Someone's got to read the book. And then after they read the book, if they want to debate about something, I'd be more than happy to. But I would never waste my time with someone that has no information about knowledge with observations. And I left out, when you're doing the observations, like what Price was doing, that's critical. I mean, if the teeth are pearl white, perfect, no cavities or next to none, like no tooth ever like got destroyed, there was a dental cure, it didn't mean it ate up the tooth, and they would heal with a secondary dentin, which is a yellow colored pigment of the filling material. It's a natural filling material. Well, dentistry now, modern, does not tell you that, because they wouldn't make any money on you. This is what a shame the whole world is. They put toxic metal in your mouth, mercury amalgam, all these crazy things, and it's all unnecessary. You know, it's not making friends. You drill out someone's tooth with amalgam filling. You're taking out so much that it's totally retarded. There's like no common sense to do it. It's not going to help anybody. It makes it worse. You know, putting a big huge crater in someone's mouth when they could just say, go home, you're not eating right. Here's the book I read by Price. He was the head researcher. But what happened was, I think some schmuck, one of his colleagues, got jealous, and he undermined Price's focal point infection with infected teeth. That's another thing he did vast experiments on with rabbits. Oh shoot, I thought it was like 800 rabbits. There was a lot of them. Like, it was like a long test that coincided with Pottinger's cats, with the raw food of everything. With the cat experiment as well. That was with Francis M. Pottinger. But yeah, so reverting back to like with the intelligence, you know, like their ideas on catching animals with traps and snares, special homemade, you know, ingenious devices to make, you know, to catch animals, fish. Like the Indians now here in Eastport, they got like a weird, well, not the town right beside Eastport, they got the special weirs to catching the herring and mackerel. Well, more or less, I think the mackerel run through there, the herring weirs, and or the herring rather, the herring weirs, and they get them in these man-made traps, and they could be like 15 feet or more in diameter, and they work amazing. You know, when the tide's up and down. They can go inside there and get all the fish they want, the high omega-3 oil content to help with your intellectual functioning in your mind. And I mean, granted, there's cultures that were aggressive because of their food. You know, you have tribes that might kill you, you know, cannibals. But overall, people aren't like they are now as far as the mental and intellectual thinking and their behaviors. You notice people, not everybody, but I mean, there's people that don't eat right and they still think normal. Their mentality's there, but when they have like their native nutrition in their system, they're more honest. They're open, like I was saying. The character is so good. They help others. They feel so good. They want to share their knowledge. They're not being greedy or elusive, trying to deceive you. It's just unbelievable. I mean, they were so intelligent. It's just, nothing was damaged, like with their facial. I mean, you're having all these illnesses because the diet. It's about people want to make money, and they brainwash you. You got current, the government, changes over. We should revert back into Weston A Price when he visited these primitive tribes. Everybody ought to live amongst a tribe, or do like what that homesteaders are doing now. Like in Alaska, other places like the Amish, they get their groupings of people. It should be like that all over. Everybody should get even like 10 people, or not even, whatever, 5 members, 5 family members. Everybody gets together to help one another out. Not how it is now. You think about it. We're all just about isolated. Like, yeah, if you got a family, you're still isolated. Like, you're not seeing the other families. Why don't you do that? Because we've been brainwashed. You watch TV. I mean, we didn't have all this crazy stuff, this modernization. It's not all healthy. We got our smartphones, which help to communicate and send messages. That helps incredibly, but that's detrimental. You got to watch with the waves and all that. I don't know if they're microwaves. There might be issues with that they really haven't gone in huge details about, that they might know about. It could get somebody sick, especially young children. They should keep away from all that. Like watching TV close, they got to stay away from all that stuff. But with Price, he, it's the same, like I was saying with David Attenborough, and you notice all these observations. You don't need to have like all this back with, why do you need scientific evidence for that? Really, if you're somewhere and the teeth are perfect, okay, you look at these tribal members, robust, strong, all teeth perfect and everything, and they're good-hearted. They'll let you stay, like you say you were visited, and you weren't, disrespectful, just acting normal, and they decide, yeah, we'll show you around. You want to learn our way, live here for a little spell. They do that, and they take their time and want to explain and teach you. Where do you find that now? You live in a city. You're gonna walk down the street and anyone's gonna show you something? I mean, are you kidding me? That's insanity. So I don't know how people don't go insane living there. Obviously you do in the city, but people, you get isolated, you could go crazy too. But if you eat well, it does help a lot. I mean, it makes you stronger. Your willpower is there. You could change your diet. Say you were eating modern foods of commerce. You revert to eating organic food or forage your own. Or someone gives you some wild game meat, whatever, fish, anything that's healthy, farm-raised eggs, pasture, whatever. It all helps you to feel better. You feel healthy, you feel good, and you want to help others. So, I mean, it's important to think that way. Not it's all about yourself. I mean, I don't want to hear someone all about how great they are. I could give 2 cents about that and how much money you have. That ain't going to help someone's health. I don't care. I could care less. But what's nice with money would be, though, is to travel around the world and be nice to do like what Price did. Years later, almost a century later, to travel the world and see what the results are, or other people. But that's so rare now. I think the Papua New Guineans, maybe there's some, I don't know if there's isolated yet in South America, maybe some places Africa, but I doubt it. You could see the messed up facial features already. I mean, it's so obvious. You got to read the book though, so it makes sense. I mean, you don't need to be a genius to look at someone's facial features, and you'll know the parents ate bad. It doesn't mean both of them did though. Okay, and here's something interesting too, from my observation, and I've asked people about it. I asked what their kids look like. Okay, like say they had a rougher generation, like my like okay, with my teeth and all, or anyone else, their arches are a little messed up and all. Well, you could still have healthy, nice kids that have nice teeth and all. You can't judge if you were looking for a partner. They got to have perfect teeth. Therefore, once you have conception, she's pregnant, they're gonna have, you get guaranteed to have healthy offspring, kids. No, 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 no. That's why Price had that book to show people that had pearl white perfect teeth, the first generation. They started eating garbage. The guy, you know, the female, he might have damaged the mitochondrial DNA, and then the mom, and then the mother's breastfeeding, and she's eating garbage food. Your kids and the offspring, your children are not going to be, they're not going to have the appearance of what you look like if you don't, start using common sense and wake up and smell the roses. I pity the vegan diet. I mean, I was a vegan for 4 years. And I was 23 years old, and I stuck with it 4 years. I bought Price's book. That's the biggest insult, was I had Price's book when I was 23. I moved up to Maine. I've been up here 26 years. And I was blown away what I read, and I ignored it. I listened to a Vietnam vet, and his teeth were all yellow and gold. And I thought, well, Jesus, I don't think that's right. I looked after Price's book and seen their teeth. But yeah, I'll listen and see. Guy was a good-hearted guy, war vet and everything. I still, he meant well. And his reasons was to get the Agent Orange out of him and stuff. So, I salute to that. If that did help him in that way. He was in good health. It looked, aside from that. And yeah, I was just, you're just in utter disbelief how nutrition is that powerful. And the veganism is not going to it's going to get worse fast. And so, I'm glad I've seen people put YouTube videos up about this. And I should have did this years ago. Aware of how detrimental it's going to be. I came down with my sugar. I came down with the flu in September. And then I got my, went and checked the doctor, I waited 2 years. I'm too stubborn, that's the problem. And if you're vegan and you're stubborn, you got problems. You got to change over. If you got amalgam fillings in your mouth, you have to go and revert to a cholesterol diet, eggs. You need fat, you got to get that shit out of your system. It's not going to get out with no fat in your diet. You're going to be so sick that you're not going to believe it, okay? I have not heard anybody talk about that with amalgam fillings or anything. Knock on wood, a lot of you people are lucky. I had to have all that good stuff. I haven't had root canals, none of that, thank God. I've had abscess teeth. I had them taken out. Just that, it's because of diet. And but you want to have your healthy kids. Holy Jesus, don't wait. Because once the kid's fully, 19, 18, or whatever years old, both male and female, all their structures fully grown out. You can't do nothing then. It's too late. And it kind of looks funny. When you look at this book, if someone's real sensitive, you shouldn't read it. Actually, I am. But I read it anyways. And it's like, oh my God, I read it twice. Okay, this book is lengthy. It's like almost 500 pages. Yeah, it is. 503. Oh no, 500 and... yeah, 510. Oh yeah, 510. This issue is. But, I was blown away. That very instant after I read that book, I immediately avoided refined white sugar, refined white flour. That stuff disappeared. You don't need to tell me nothing. I need special evidence. You got to be an ignorant imbecile. You don't eat the crap. The modernization is horrendous. It ain't saving nothing. We got modernized narcissists is what we have. You didn't gain any ground. You made things so much worse for so many people. I mean, Jesus, this shitty ass food of modern diets, it's beyond belief with commercialization, advertise all this crap, pharmaceutical companies. I mean, it's just crazy. But just how, because the way, people, it's just amazing with the research that he did with, his studies. And then other places, we got Stefanson as well, and he was living, raw meat with the Eskimos, and I mean, I've done that myself. I've had raw beef 5 years. I've been having raw milk since 2000, 18 years straight, and I've had over 1.5 gallons, okay? I got paperwork on my blood work. I have raw, I've been having raw mackerel, about 2 ounces minimum with some raw organic cow kefir. Oh gosh, I'm gonna say 12 years now, or 13 already. Every day I have a small amount raw. I eat the heads, I eat the eyes, I eat the bone, I eat the skin. And see, that's another thing with these tests with the essential fatty acids, omega-3s. They're not always taking consideration the whole entire skin of the fish. Maybe there are. I didn't look to see curry comb to find out all the information precisely. I've seen, tests on mackerel where the EPA was like 2.12 in one of the books by Mary Enig. And she wrote a book on Know Your Fats. And in her book there it mentioned they had them out, but it was filleted. So, I mean, that's not telling me precisely. I got the skin is loaded with fat. I mean, I eat the heads, the whole damn, I just gut it out. And, with the herring, I eat the guts and all. I mean, sometimes I don't bother, but I was reading up, though, I thought, like a bacteria, but, and either I thought the mackerel or the herring, but I didn't, I don't think it's really, I have to look into it and again make another video about it. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but no, it's important to tell people they got to get the book. I mean, you got to get this damn book, okay? This ought to be in every school, worldwide, not just U.S. I mean, we don't know crap, the U.S., as far as nutrient-dense foods. You kidding me? We're like one of the most lacking of people. At least you got in Europe or you got Spain, they eat special, done pork, and I think some places in Italy eat really healthy yet. I mean, a lot of other countries do. I mean, we're going on we're getting better, but I mean, this should have been out so long. This is back in '39, the copyright. I mean, how much more do we need to wait? I mean, this ought to be broadcast, I mean, worldwide. This is just ridiculous. And any of you guys that are like eating like I do, you don't debate with someone that hasn't read this book. Especially like someone that's eating vegan. They got to read the damn book to understand what the hell's going on. You don't have to be a genius to know how devastating a diet is for your kids. I'm like, oh my God, you got to be out of your freaking marbles. You can't eat deficient diet. Are you out of your mind? But I'm almost going on almost a half hour, and I kind of went all over. I was talking, with intelligence, that kind of went fast and waned, but with nutrition, with diet, I mean, with special kids that both sexes, genders are supposed to eat for foods and how behavior, but it does. It will change you amazingly, but also what isn't mentioned much at all, I heard a few times only, and that was it. I think I just heard it with a Jonas. I just got like information from him that I heard only like 2 days ago. I never heard of the guy. And he thinks like I was with the focal point infection with your teeth. I mean, vegans, you guys, you cannot overlook people that have mercury amalgam in their mouth. They have, I mean, you got dental issues. You're overlooking all that. Why you throw that to the wayside, man? You got to wake up and smell the roses. I'm not looking to destroy you. I was a vegan myself. But I mean, you got to be realistic. It don't cure your teeth. You got to eat like eggshells or something. Otherwise, you're going to have... And your kids, you imagine how... I'd be so infuriated if I'm a younger kid and I saw my parents, they had this book and they didn't say nothing to me about it when I'm young, where I could change how I look. I mean, you could change what your facial features look like with this damn book. Okay, this is like a manual to have nice looking children, alright? And to think normal. That's not to mean everybody's gonna. Obviously, there's nutbags. But for the most part, people are honest, good-hearted, and open, and they want to help you. Not everybody. You know, people are still timid, but hardly less so with when they eat good. They want to help you, and everyone wants to have a good time. We're not, you know, knocking people in pieces, shredding them. And also, I like to add, for myself, like, conditioning-wise, I'm like a conditioning fanatic. I've had my heart rate in the 30s. I weighed over 220 pounds. I was drinking over a gallon of milk. I doing calisthenics like insane, okay? And the diet works, all right? I don't feel bad. I felt good. The satiety or the, you know, alleviating your hunger. I always say that, but, you know, the satiety, whatever, you're not hungry. The fat alleviates your hunger. Why do you want to be hungry all day? That's insane. I used to eat so many freaking cans of tahini, or the glass jars of that, peanut butter, like through the roof, sunflower seeds. It just never ended. Dates, Nordiglet dates, medjool dates. I mean, they taste good. But that's not a common... I don't even live in that area. I mean, why am I eating all that stuff, you know? You gotta live where you live. You know, where your climate is. I'm gonna be doing a lot of videos on a temperature you don't hear about, how to handle cold weather, cold water immersion, okay? Having, you know, you should have special foods for having healthy kids. I just kind of talked about that. You don't have to be a genius. You just got to eat a certain special way, both the male and female. No, don't just let the female. And meantime, you're eating crap food, garbage. You're smoking cigarettes, okay? You're doing all this bullshit. You're drinking like a fish, and you're gonna have healthy kids. You think that isn't ass backwards? Are you kidding me? No, you're wrong, big time. And also, like, even police, the wardens, everybody, the DEA ought to check on how people think with their mentality, their mental acuity. If they got all garbage food and they eat like freaking idiots, I mean, they're pigs. They have no respect for, like, nature or anything. They got shit strewn all over the place. You don't want to, you know these people got problems. They're not thinking they're not eating right, okay? They're not eating right. Where do you know of... Like, even with Price, they ain't going to study and find garbage all over the place. You look around, read the damn book. I mean, they don't have shit. They had respect for nature and everything. I mean, this is just so insane how, and I plan to, I'm glad I'm seeing other people post, finally on here with Facebook, because I didn't see anybody for the longest time. I haven't bothered. I said, I got to start doing this. I mean, I feel embarrassed because... I've known Weston A Price's work, his book, since 26 years ago. I didn't put any YouTube videos up because, I don't know, I was mortified. I couldn't believe what I was reading. And if you guys are vegan, that's going to rip your heart apart, because usually it takes 7 years to believe what you read, to do something. But I mean, I knew right then and there, you know, refined white flour, refined white sugar, I'm all done. I mean, that's out of the question. And I'm not blaming my folks, because my grandparents didn't know either to teach them. How are they supposed to know? And yeah, so how are you supposed to know? You go, oh, it's just genetics. You know, they didn't eat right. You know, your genetics. No. It's your nutrition. It definitely is your nutrition. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You got to be an idiot. I mean, I'm not going to debate with some imbecile. If they didn't read this book, there's nothing to talk about, okay? We're not in the same playing field. Well, Well, my damn battery's dying out and I gotta cancel. I gotta close this down, I guess, my freaking phone. But there's gonna be all kinds of videos I plan to put up there, and you guys ought to too, and how it helped you, Price. And more people that do this, like the vegan movement has, this will change. You know, only having a handful of people is idiotic. You gotta start and have all the healthy, nutrient-dense foods. The most concentrated. They help you. If you're in a hunter-gatherer situation, that's why they ate this way. You know, they got to eat these foods to live quick. If it's weather's frigid cold, you're not going to be eating bananas. Is your ass? Are you using that for a dildo up your ass? Are you freaking kidding me? Come on, where's people thinking? Yeah, you're gonna eat a vegan diet in the Arctic. That's superior. You know what your thinking is? It's up your butthole. I wouldn't want to hang around someone that's stupid and ignorant, okay? You gotta have to change your ways to eating with Weston A Price. He's the man. He knows his stuff. Weston A Price, he's the man. Peace.